Has Grealish been a flop? What's the definition of a flop? Flop. Fall or move or hanging loose in an ungainly way. What, boys? Oi, Gavin, man. Yo, chill. What the freak, bruh? What the freak, bruh? I can't lie. Shop anywhere else I'll be. Bro! Yo, listen. If you want a premium steak, mate, yeah, you go to the butchers or you go Waitrose, bruh. And I'm sorry for saying, you're the butchers / Waitrose, mate. And you got that premium steak that we need, mate. Yeah, I don't want no fucking some hanging tough meat, mate. Yeah, pause. Yeah, we need to move on for this. Nah, I went down the wrong path there, boys. I can't lie. Oh nah, we need to move on from that one. Get me out the meat shop right now. Get me out the meat shop right now. Nah, that went south real quick. Yeah, I know, boys. I know. Yo, chill. I went the wrong way, boys. I went the wrong way. Get me out of there. Take me to the fruit aisle. Oh, LB's getting fruity. What the hell? You guys are going to smash these likes up, man. 900 people.
Go. Fucking go. You're a bunch of absolute cretins. That fucking goalkeeper. You may as well have the Statue of Liberty in goal. Absolute idiot. He is like concrete. You may as well have a concrete cock in goal. Absolute twat. What? It's just a crap goal. What a stupid team. Absolute twats. And what happens? What does it come from? Bruno trying a fucking hero ball. Ahmad trying a hero shot. It's the same old story all the bloody time. Same mistakes all season. Can't play patiently. Can't play as a team. Let's try and do the hero ball. And then lo and behold, a mistake happens at the fucking back. I mean, look at him. He's like the Statue of Liberty. He is stood there like that. Bloody concrete. I'd rather have a bloody dildo in goal. At least it moves. What's he doing?
Yeah, they're losing 1-0. Mwang Lwin scored in the 71st minute. What kind? Like, no disrespect to the name, but Mong. No, his name's not Wang because it's an AU. Mong. His name's Mong. His name's Mong. What the? I know it's a friendly, but it's just fucking embarrassing, man. United had all the possession, double the passes, everything, double the shots, pretty much. More corners, more fouls. Accuracy's higher, apparently. I mean, he loses to someone called Mwang or Mong. I don't even know how to say his name correctly. I have no idea. This is embarrassing, man. I swear I need Chelsea to lose later. This ain't even a joke anymore.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know what's funnier, LB getting really fruity or United just being shit. What do you reckon?
I'm still trying to figure out where he's going with that.
How you
It was
doing?
like it was like an advanced calculus of like football content.
Who, LB?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where he's going with that. I think he was just talking out loud. I think he's talking out loud. Hello, Patricio Romano is back to being Patrick.
Yeah, I am back. Yeah, the
You're
character is gone. But you know what today, Dubs? You're not gonna laugh at me because I did a deep dive on Cherki, and as soon as my premiere was happening, bam, took that. So I didn't take the L this time because last time I took the L with.
Well,
Cherki.
it looks like there's certainly some good news on the Cherki, the Cherki front. Yeah, I mean, it's at the moment with all the news coming out, it's trying to piece it all together, right? So what? Reijnders looks like City have put a deal together, a proposal together to AC Milan, and AC Milan have said, yeah, we like the look of that. Meanwhile, while that's going on, looks like we're making Cherki and Morgan Gibbs-White our front runners. Does that mean our front runners after Reijnders? In which case, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm not gonna lie. If we're getting Reijnders, Cherki, and Morgan Gibbs-White, why not?
You know what the issue is, though? What I've noticed is Morgan Gibbs-White keeps sticking. Like, it's not leaving. Every time they talk about...
I don't mind that. I don't mind it sticking, though. If we're still getting Reijnders and Cherki, Morgan Gibbs-White is another option. I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah, but it's going to be mad because, let's say, for instance, Cherki comes in at 25, even though I heard rumors that it's a gentleman's agreement, apparently. It's not the race clause. I hope it is the race clause, not a gentleman's agreement. So if he comes in, let's say, at 30, 40, and then we go for Morgan Gibbs-White, who comes in at 70, I think Gibbs-White, would you pay 70 and still start Cherki? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know. It's just that's where it just confuses me. Because obviously,
you're just trying to get him
70 is my limit. 70 is my limit, Pat. But we don't know where the club's going to go. With
I agree with you on that. 100%. 70 is the limit on Morgan Gibbs-White. 100% agree with you on that. And hello, Nick, as well. It's turned into a four-way. Not only LB can do it.
Fatal four-way.
I think he can hear us. I think he can hear.
Are you on mute, Nick? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, all good, lads.
There he is.
There he is.
I was wondering. I was like, he can't hear us. Definitely can't hear us.
New monitor and setting it all up. It's all happening.
Oh, shiny new toys, not just for the fan base.
Yeah. New job, so a few benefits.
Nice.
Congrats.
Do you want to give me one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
you want to come to Australia, mate?
No. No, you've got big insects that will beat me up there. I'm not interested in that.
I think Daps is convinced. I'm 39 years old. I think Daps is convinced that I'm like the fifth oldest person in Australia.
Do you know what? Yeah, it's Lee Evans once did this years and years ago when I was a kid. He did this like this sketch where, well, no, it's when he was doing a stand-up. In fact, he's talking about if you tread on spiders over here, you just tread on the spider, you keep walking. So whereas in Australia, you tread on a spider and all of a sudden your foot lifts up and the spider's pushing your foot away, bounces up in front of you, the fuck off baseball bat. Like, yeah, you fucking want some, do you? Nah, I don't want that. I want to be able to take a shit in peace without thinking my ass is going to get bit. I'm sorry, but if I'm being Australia, it seems like
they'll never learn, will they, Nick? They'll never learn.
Never.
No, I've even got family in Australia. My mum's been Australian multiple times.
You've had Alan on the show too many times.
Yeah.
It's just honestly right.
And yet he seems to have a goldfish memory because he wakes up the next day and he's like, "Oh, I'm glad to live here."
It seems like a beautiful, beautiful country. No, seems like a very relaxing country. Everyone from Australia seems fucking relaxed, right? But I just don't feel it's that much better than England to risk being killed by a fucking insect.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go somewhere if it's like, oh my God, that looks unreal. Yes, I will risk fighting a python, right? Whereas Australia, I just think, nah, do you know what? I want to be able to walk down the street without being attacked by insects and a fuck off snake. And actually, also, the more I'm on Twitter, those kangaroos are built like brick shit houses. I don't want to. They're evil bastards. I don't know
about Australia. We've got snakes in my country, and once in a while they've gone into the house. Once in a while you find them in the garden, but it's once in a while you run into them. I don't know how much you run into snakes.
Oh no, they live in Ireland.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about Malawi. I said Africa, so I'm saying in my country, Malawi. I think I ran into 4 snakes so far. One in my mom's garden. One it was our own fault. We went into some bush and we were looking for birds, and then we ran into one. But it's not like I just walk in the street and say hello, snake. So I don't know about Australia. I don't think it's.
What's the worst snakes you get back in Malawi? Would it be mambas?
Yeah, the mambas are horrible. Oh, those are bad.
Yeah. I think our equivalent to that would be the brown snake.
Yeah.
Because they're not as quick, but they're just so aggressive.
Yeah.
And like when they bite you, they bite the chew like they are ruthless.
So there we go. There's a prime example. I think the most we get over here is a little grass snake or something, right? You're talking about, brown snake, they're aggressive. Aggressive. Yeah. There we go. That's why I don't want to come to. You've got aggressive snakes, not snakes that are like biting to defend themselves. You've got aggressive snakes. They actually wake up in the morning. They don't do YouTube shows. They don't go to work. They're like, fuck it, mate. Let's go and bite someone. I'm not
I've obviously been in Australia 29 years, and I've seen maybe one snake when we were on holidays camping somewhere, but other than that, I've never seen.
You see, this is why I keep telling people that even I think I was talking to some girl, and she was frankly telling me, she's like, I've seen Malawi. You guys have a lot of weed there. I would like to go there, but I see the lions, this and that. I was like, man, the lions are done. They're done. They actually went to Kenya. Most of the lions just left. Like, it's not like you just wake up in the morning and say,
decided to get a plane to Kenya.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you
they went on a stag do and enjoyed it so much they immigrated.
Nah, they were starving. In Malawi, they were starving. The wildlife is not that great anymore. So most of the lions just some of them are gone. But it's not like you just end up with some of these wild animals there, just sitting there, say hello, Patrick, good morning. No, but I see people see it that way. But Australia, I know with the videos around, I'm like, look, people have had snakes in toilets in my country before. We have the big spiders that are so huge sometimes you just find them in your house. But we used to just take them out. It's not like they just say, oh, there's a spider that attacks. It's once in a while somebody gets beaten by a spider, but it's not always. I don't know.
Gets eaten? Sorry, gets what?
Beaten by a spider. Like the spider bites you.
Oh, I thought you said beaten or eaten. I'm thinking, how can a spider beat you? That is literally spiders there with a bat.
No, bite, like a bite.
You fucking want some?
if you had a spider,
and even more when you said eaten, I thought there's bite and there's eaten.
You have to leave the country.
Spiders polish you off and whip. Oh, that was lovely. That.
Now you have to leave the country. If a spider starts eating people in that country, you have to leave.
Yeah, my daughter's looking at me like I'm off my rocker. I probably am, to be fair. Anyway, let's get back to Manchester City, the greatest in the land and all the world. We've had this morning. So we've had the Reijnders news that it looks like we've put a proposal towards AC Milan. They seem quite happy with it. So I would expect that to... I can't lie. I've got a feeling that Reijnders is going to be done. I think Reijnders, we might get Here We Go on Monday, I think.
Yeah. I could see that.
I think we're absolutely lining it up so that on the 1st of June, he's either going to be on the plane or he's going to be holding the shirt.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I think Reijnders is going to be over the line potentially first. But then it's come out this morning that, firstly, I saw from Manchester Evening News, they have reported that that Manchester City have been given the green light by the board, I guess, that, make the move on Cherki. Cherki's been informed that City are interested in him and Cherki's up for it. Why would he not? His other option was fucking the Swamp, and who would want to go to the Swamp right now?
Verts.
No.
I'm joking. I'm talking about United. I know United. But I'm just also talking about
United, the club that begs the question, can a manager get sacked in the preseason?
Yeah, but I'm also making a joke. I'm making a joke at Liverpool also.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
going there, yeah. But then the other one is that we're still, even though apparently we're still interested in Cherki. This is what I'm trying to work out, right? So I think what Fabrizio said is that City are interested in Cherki, but Morgan Gibbs-White is still on the list. I would imagine that is probably an either or. It's not a both, right? Or is there a world where we go for both as well as Reijnders?
He says he's top of the list with Morgan Gibbs-White after Vertdio off. Why Cherki is also aware of City interest. So Cherki is top of the list with Gibbs-White. So they're trying to say they're both top of the list.
But I mean, there's two ways you could look at that. That could be one, they want both, or it could be two, they're looking at both, or it could be three, they actually want Cherki now. However, they're not going to make out to Lyon that, yeah, we only want Cherki, because Lyon will go, cool, well, in that case, we can charge you 40 million. They're going, look, we want Cherki, but we've also got another target that if we don't get Cherki, then we're quite happy to go and spend the money on him.
But doesn't Cherki have a release clause?
No, apparently not. Apparently it's come out that it's a gentleman's agreement.
However,
We'll find out
Nick,
anyway.
we mentioned on previous shows is whoever the buying club is, they do hold a lot of the cards because Lyon are financially strapped at the moment, €250 million in debt, I believe, something around that figure, and he's only got a season left on his contract as well.
Interesting, yeah. Yep.
So the buying clubs do hold the cards.
Yeah. I think
another thing too. Sorry, Gabs. I just wanted to talk about the three midfielders. Obviously, Cherki, Reijnders, and Gibbs-White. Is there a possibility? Because I don't know if we're in a position to probably go for all three and go for all three this early in the window. Do you think that one of these potential signings maybe? And I think it would probably be Gibbs-White, to be honest, given that I think Forest are going to pull a hard bargain. Do you think that maybe one of these three is going to be held back, knowing that maybe trying to get that many midfielders may be surplus to requirements, pending who may leave the
point? Really good point.
Because it's all well and good if we get these three straight through the door, but unless we know that there's another 3 or 4 heading out, then there's no point in going ahead and just doing that straight away. Unless
I think that's
the club have had full intentions from other players that they're definitely leaving, regardless of what the situation is.
I was going to say,
I think two coming in, I love it. I think it shows authority. It shows that we mean business. But to get 3, then you start looking about, okay, that's all well and good, but who's going to go out the door?
Yeah, look, if I'm
that's
being
the thing
honest,
that concerns me a little bit.
Sorry, Pat. I was going to say I do think Cherki is a Bernardo replacement. If I'm being entirely honest.
Yeah, it's a decent shout. I mean, he fits a similar sort of versatility bill as Bernardo, midfield to right wing. Yeah, it's that's a possibility as well.
And that goes back to the way that Haaland was telling Bernardo to go over and say goodbye the other day, because I see something in that, and people will try and downplay it, but I've watched the video several times. Haaland is signalling to Bernardo something, right? So that could be that. I'm interested at how the Bernardo thing happens, because we ain't going to let him go on a free.
No. But also, remember Jack Grealish on the tram with Bernardo when he was praying with the treble season, when he was praying for him to not leave.
Yeah.
And he never did.
Bernardo's a bizarre one, isn't he? He's always been a bizarre one, always will be a bizarre one.
How old is Bernardo? He's about 30.
31.
30.
30, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, that's right. He turned 30 on the Community Shield. Yeah, that's right.
He's just 30, yeah.
Yeah. He'll be 31 in about a couple of months.
And Gundogan, the story is that Gundogan is also in Turkey. I don't know if those are true. So maybe Gundogan is actually leaving even after the extension.
I mean, right, so Gundogan being in Turkey, if he's in Turkey right now on his pre-season, I wouldn't see... We can do this. We can go down that route, because I know that he's got a strong connection to Turkey. I think it's either Fenerbahce or Galatasaray. I know I've always been keen on him.
It's Galatasaray, people are saying. The rumours are Galatasaray.
However, we know that Gundogan loves Turkey, right? If you ever see me in Dubai, you don't need to start a rumour that I'm moving there. Right, I just like going on holiday there, right? And Gundogan does, he loves his Turkish roots. I have no doubt he loves Turkish food because we all love Turkish food. From what I saw the other day, Gundogan's come out and said, I've still got a year left at City and I'm staying. I think he will stay because I think this next season, and we spoke about this yesterday, about him maybe becoming part of the coaching setup next season as a kind of player coach. Let's remove that for a second. I do think he'd stay at City because if he's playing less, he will be doing his coaching badges next season, 100%. So I can't see Gundogan going. I actually see Bernardo going more than Gundogan.
Don't rule out the fact that he may be in Turkey talking to the Turkish clubs about possibly doing something to do with coaching as well.
Yeah, maybe over there as well. Yeah,
he may not be there for the upcoming season, but he might be there because he's looking forward to future seasons. Seeing what he's going to do, whether he plays, whether he wants to go into coaching. It doesn't. We're not too sure, but some of these players, once they know where they're going to be for a certain length of time, they'll usually go to other clubs or go do other things because they're thinking 5-10 years ahead. And Gundogan's a smart fella. I mean, we see he is one of the best football brains of anybody in modern football for the last 10 years. The guy's not only thinking like usually 2 steps ahead on a football pitch, he's probably thinking 10 years ahead what he's going to do with life after being manager. So
I see Gundo was doing his badges 3 years ago. I think there's levels to badges in different stages. I don't know if he's completely finished them or not. But look, it could even be one of the. I'm not ruling out the fact that City could agree a deal with. Look, Gundo, we'll loan you out for a season or go here for a season, but we do want you to come back and finish off doing your badges here. Where's Pat gone? What's happened there?
Did you see the article though days ago where it said that this Man City team might come back in 2025-26 and it'll be a whole different team? Yeah. Somebody said they might feel their whole different things. That's how deep the rebuild is for them. They might actually just be. I think majority is the midfield. I think so. Obviously the defenders we can't get rid of 6 years.
Minus Rodri, I think the whole. I do believe that Kovacic, Bernardo, Gundo, De Bruyne. Well, De Bruyne's gone, but those three. So Kovacic, Bernardo, Gundo become very much bit part players next season. Of the three, I'd probably say Kovacic might end up getting the most game time of those three. But I do think. Look, Nunes less game time next season if we get right back.
Yeah,
O'Reilly's an interesting one.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw that, Patrick, and I'm kind of the boat that I would not be surprised if it is almost a completely new City team come the start of next season.
Yeah,
minus the key kind of components like Diaz, Guardiola, Rodri, Haaland.
Yeah,
I think almost every other position is.
When you're talking that, I guess what we're doing there is we're saying that the January signings they're seen as new City players, right?
Yeah. I see that being part of the new refresh.
Part of the new refresh. I think you're right with what you said there. The players you said are probably spot on.
100%. I do think obviously we're looking at potentially 2 fullbacks, so that there could be 2 new positions. I think potentially either 2 midfielders, which again could come straight in if Foden isn't kind of hitting his strides again. And then I still believe firmly that we'll probably go out and sign a winger. I just think that I've got a feeling that a new winger's coming in. Yeah, 100%.
I don't.
I think a lot of people still think we're going to play this same system that we're playing now next season, and I'm of the opposite.
You think we're going to play with wingers?
Yep, 100%.
Nah, definitely 100%. Not. Definitely not touchline hugging wingers.
I think you'd be surprised.
Who do you think we're going to get them?
It's hard to look past the Rodrigo stuff. I still think that's floating around. And again, he's a serious option. Big admiration from both him and Pep. I think Sane on a free you'd have to look at.
Nah, I don't think we're even looking at it.
Ship sail with Sane, unfortunately.
Yeah. We're not, but again, it needs to be, if a winger does come in, it needs to be someone that can have.
Yeah, agreed. It has to be
impacting games.
I just can't see the only one, and to be fair with you, I can't see is Rodrigo, but I can't see it. I don't believe it. Can't see it happening. Really can't.
See, I think I've said it to Martin and a few others recently. I think with with a midfield of Rodri, Reijnders, for example, Cherki or Foden kind of as that third midfielder, I think that is a dangerous midfield in itself. It's one of the midfields that you can't kind of double up on your wingers as much, because if you leave Rodri or Reijnders space, that they will hurt you. And again, I just look at those wingers and think, if you bring in a winger that actually will have genuine impact, it's a game changer for us. And I think we will revert back to that. I think one of the fullbacks will come in and play almost in midfield as like a technical kind of player. And I think the other fullback will be a more defensive-minded fullback and play almost like a back three.
So
I agree with what Nick said about Rodrigo. I'd love to have him at the club.
I'd love Rodrigo.
But the only problem, the two problems that I have with it is, one, we just don't do business with Europe's elite. It's just something we don't do. From a selling standpoint, yes. From a buying standpoint, no, we just don't do. And I think when you look at
are you forgetting Danilo? Yeah, you forgetting Danilo, Madrid.
Yeah, that was, although he was a bit surplus to requirements, though, wasn't he?
Is Rodrigo not in the same boat right now?
Yeah, he's not.
By then, I think that fella Mendy
not
coming
from
in.
What Alonso said. Alonso wants Rodrigo there still.
Yeah, but the other thing too is that I think just the way Madrid do business against clubs that they are very competitive against in Europe, you'd sort of be in a position where you kind of you'd have to have all the stars aligned basically for it to happen. He's surplus to too many requirements at Madrid. The fees agreeable from both parties. The whole thing has to be. It kind of has to be in a position where it almost falls into our lap, basically.
I agree, Pat, but I'm also of the mindset right now that it's almost is falling into our lap. I look at Alonso goes in, he plays with wing backs, not really wingers anymore. You've got Arda Güler, you've got all of these players coming in. That are those kind of creative players. You've still got to get Vinny and Mbappe in 100%. Bellingham.
Is this a one, or is this you really think this is happening?
I actually really think this is happening. I think,
you think there's something to it?
It's one of those weird ones where I think he's kind of been way too open about how much he likes us, Pep vice versa. And then there's obviously been weird links over the past few days with obviously Spanish. So I think that was Spanish streamers and things like that. But weirdly enough, they were quite credible in the sense that they've got a few right.
Yeah, she got Jude right, didn't she? She got Jude right.
And sure many.
I do hear that. The thing for me is that all the news coming out of the actual tier one journalists is around wingers. Sorry, is around fullbacks and is around midfielders, right? Meanwhile, with Rodrigo,
there hasn't been anything.
I'm seeing a lot heavier links to Arsenal. Oh, by the way, the other thing is, however much you want to say where the Rodrigo can play, correct me if I'm wrong, but Rodrigo wants to play on the left, I believe. Is that right?
I don't know. People keep saying that. I think he more wants to. I think Rodrigo, right? If you look at him, he's always the utility guy, and he's always the guy who gets dropped first when there's a situation, when there's a tactical change. Valverde plays left winger just to get a bit of defense. They drop Rodrigo. So I think if he came to City, and I was telling people this the other day, even if you play him right, but he knows that here I can be the guy. It doesn't matter if it's Doku or whatever, but I'll play right winger, because right winger is where he's cooked everybody in the Champions League, including us. So I don't know. So I don't know. I have seen his best work as a right winger. The left winger thing, I haven't seen much of it from him.
I just think the other thing as well, right, is if he goes to Arsenal, then it's going to be. We can all tell you now, it's going to be Saka on the right and it's going to be Rodrigo on the left. Yeah.
Yep.
Or potentially, they could. That's another shout. They could play Rodrigo through the middle potentially if they wanted to, and he'd probably love that as well. The issue at Real Madrid is that he's, like you said, he's always second fiddle. I just wonder if he would look at City as well and go, right, so you got Haaland, cool. Got Marmoush, who can play through the middle or off the left. You've got Bob, got Savio. You're getting Cherki, and all of a sudden think, hold on a second. Am I just going to end up being second fiddle at this club as well?
I'd probably disagree with you. I think he comes in, he backs himself to be the main man. He walks in the door. I think realistically, Madrid's probably a bad example. Like him playing on the right, and I know, Patrick, you were kind of touching on it.
Yeah.
Him playing on the right, not much of the kind of play ran through that right-hand side. Where realistically, if he comes to City, we can pretty much funnel majority of the play to go through that right-hand side and have Haaland and all of those guys kind of feeding off that. It's not necessarily that he isn't the main man. It's the play just isn't going through him on the left-hand side. So again, I could see him coming in and playing left. He could play right for us. It's one of those players, whereas if he comes in, he's almost one of the first names on that team.
No, right. And let me be clear. And anything I say here, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, right? I rate Rodrigo. I want Rodrigo. I like Rodrigo. If it came out right now that we're getting Rodrigo, 100% I'll be happy. But look, we've seen the way the club has done business recently, right? And like I say, we're being heavily linked with fullbacks. We need fullbacks because we have none. No, zero, zilch actual fullbacks. We've got a midfield that's so old that we need to replace it. And we're being heavily linked with 3 midfielders. And then we're talking about going out and getting Rodrigo. How much is Rodrigo going to cost, firstly?
80.
80.
Yeah,
okay.
They need money. I think he's almost surplus to requirements in that team.
Okay, so with all the other players we're signing and we need to sign, yeah?
Yep.
You think we're then going to go and throw 80 million at a player when we've got Haaland, Marmoush, and all the other players we've got? And like I'm saying right now, I'm not having the debate of who is better, because I do think Rodrigo is. But I mean, the club has just spent 65 million and given Marmoush, I think, 300 grand a week or something like that, right? He's on a mega. So that's what's making me think I don't think this Rodrigo one happens. It's more the other players we've got. And, you know, Savinho's only a year in. Marmoush we've just got. I don't see a world where we get Rodrigo.
The only way he comes in is if kind of Patrick also mentioned previously that the squad will change. And I think if the squad shake-up's as big as I think it potentially could be, I think 1 or 2 of our wingers will leave. Hence opening up.
This summer?
Yep.
Who?
I think Jack goes.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Jack is a winger. Yeah, fair, very fair.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jack, and I think potentially, again, this is a big maybe. Doku potentially.
I see the Doku one. You know, I do see
just based on he needs to be in that World Cup kind of squad, and he needs to be he almost needs to be the starting winger. And at right now, he's just.
I don't think
I can't say that for him in the City. And
he's right. You know, the thing is, let me be honest. Obviously, sometimes Man City won't operate this way. But if we were being serious, where you want a small squad, but you want quality, let's say if we're being ruthless, like we're being ruthless, and if I was in that boardroom, I think if there's a potential of signing Rodrigo, and I say, oh, Doku, even Savio goes on loan and comes back, Doku goes on loan or gets sold. I think as a guy, I'm looking at Marmoush, Haaland and Rodrigo as the front 3 to be ruthless. And say, that's why. Listen.
If
you're moving. Yeah.
Oh, if we end up with whether it be Edison or it be another keeper, we end up with. Do you know what? I'm gonna say we don't get right back. Let's just say Nunes on the right. Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck it. Right. Yep. I would rather get a replacement, but if we end up with Nunes, he's doing a job. Nunes on the right. Diaz or Khusanov, Vardio or Vitor Hayes
Ait-Nouri on the left.
No, then Ait-Nouri on the left. Then a midfield of our starting midfield of Rodri, Reijnders, Cherki,
or
with
Foden.
Or Nico Gonzalez. Foden, let's give him time. I actually think Foden needs to go into the season not starting, right? And knowing, Foden, there's no pressure on you, pal. There's no pressure on you coming back and changing shit round. The more we can take this pressure off of Foden, I think the more Foden will just come back in his own time when he's ready. But then with Haaland, Marmoush and Rodrigo, fucking hell. That for me, I'm standing ovation for the board if they get that done. Standing ovation.
I'm with you on that, and I think it's one of those things. Everyone kind of goes, "Well, Marmoush can't play off the right. He can't play off the right. He's not good off the right." Realistically, if you've got that midfield behind Marmoush, he would be fine off that right hand side. He's done it before. He still looks good. He still presses.
Didn't he go to that right hand side? Sorry for cutting you off. In one of the games, and he still managed to skin the fullback, and he was still comfortable and put a cross in. Somebody just missed. I don't know this thing where people. I don't know people. I think. Do you know the thing is people don't watch a lot of football in different countries. Like they don't watch Mamouche for Egypt. They never watch Mamouche most of the times when he played in Germany. Like these are versatile players, and that's why Pep Guardiola it gets these players that can be able to play everywhere. Even Cherki. Someone was like, "Oh, you bring Cherki, that's the end of Foden." It's not. Foden can start at the right sometimes and drop into the number 10. Cherki can play as a right winger. Correct. All these players can just be changing places. Even Reijnders can play as a holding midfielder. Sometimes Rodrigo can attack. Look at Gonzalez. I told people Gonzalez is good at attacking. Look at his goal. All these guys are just pieces that can move around. I look at Ryan Ait-Nouri. Yes, he's a fullback and he's a left back, but he's also very comfortable in attack. You can start focusing on attack with him. Yeah. If we get these players, all of them, if you study them in their home countries and stuff, you'll find that these guys are able to play everywhere in the pitch, which is amazing.
Just on that comment, Dabs, I did see someone commented out of Cherki, Haaland, Rodrigo, who's going to press. If you have a front three of, again, just for example, Marmoush, Rodrigo, Haaland, Rodrigo was, again, probably the hardest worker in that Real Madrid team.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
Marmoush looks like his work ethic is unbelievable. Yeah, so it's Haaland's probably the one that's going to let the press down, to be honest.
Yeah. But also something that Pep can work on over the summer. It is something that can be worked on. Look, there's going to be a lot of changes. Just on the Foden thing for me as well, just to speak on it quickly. Look, and I don't want anyone to take this that City fans are saying, or me, that I'm saying goodbye Foden, I don't care about you no more. It's not right. I care about Foden's mental health more than I care about him as a Manchester City player, right? But for him to get back to his best, he's got to get on top of something that is bigger than confidence. Getting your mental health right is a difficult path. And I think we have to give him time. And I honestly think there will have been conversations at the club over the last couple of weeks or months, especially with the news that has come out, where Pep has probably said to the board and to Viana and maybe even to Khaldoon that, look, with Foden, we just need to give him some time, right? We need to not move on from Foden, but we need as a football club to carry on and just let Phil catch up in his own time, right? Just let Phil get better. And then all of a sudden, because that's what I kept saying this season, repeatedly starting Foden, for me, was putting pressure on him. Because, he came back and he felt like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. The minute you take that off and he knows, all right, City are fine without me. I don't have to come. It's less pressure on him, and then he can start to enjoy the game a bit more. So I think we just need to give him time and know that we're probably gonna see a team without Phil in it for a while, right? Yeah. That doesn't mean he's gone. That just means we need to give him time. Welcome, Martin. Welcome, Patrick. We've got the whole gang here. Martin, are you there?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, can hear you. How are you? How's the holiday?
I mean, apart from having a bruised ego and a bruised leg, I'm having a great time.
Yeah. You're missing all this transfer news as well, Martin.
No, well, I've been left on my own stakes. I've gone off roading.
I feel like you've been left on your own every day.
Yeah, but because I fell in the pool the other day, as you know, it's kind of took me out of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Trust me to go away and second day in, I fall in the pool.
Seen any footballers in Tenerife that we can link to clubs in Tenerife?
No.
No Gundogan's over there, no Bernardo Silva's. So no. just quickly. Someone said in the comments earlier, I've just jumped on, I'm going to have a look through Fabrizio's page to see if he said it. Bernardo to Galatasaray.
Yeah, Yeah, Bernardo's been linked with a couple of Turkish clubs, and Gundogan's been linked with, I can't remember which club it was, but one of the Turkish clubs as well. Yeah, there's a lot of movement from Turkey at the moment.
What
So
Turkey?
there is
double
over there.
soup?
There's a big thing about Stegen. The Barcelona fans aren't fans of Stegen over here at the moment.
About what? Say that again. You
They're
sound
not
a bit.
happy with they're not happy with Stegen over here. So I think that's why.
Yeah.
They're very. A lot of them are wanting. Well, a lot of the papers over there are very pro Garcia.
Yeah, I
Garcia at the Barcelona.
I have a feeling that he's only going to that club. I think he's going to end up there. I think I said this yesterday. Yeah. I think it makes sense.
I did get an update. I got a text this morning about Cherki. They're discussing payment structures.
Yeah.
Which I know is going to sound crazy because you're like, it's only a 25, 30 million pound release clause. I don't know why. I've got a theory behind all this. And it's just one of my, maybe it's conspiracy theory. I don't know. Not heard anything. I've got a feeling City are trying to do as many deals as they can on payment structures. I don't think they want upfront payments from many people. Because I've got a feeling we might. I think we're going to end up getting fined over 115. Don't think we'll get done, but I think we'll get a big fine. I do know that they're holding some money back.
Martin, are you like walking away from your phone every time you start talking?
No, sometimes I'm going on. I've got
you are. You
Hang
are.
on. Hang on. Let me take my headphones off and go normal.
Yeah, he's got fake iPod. He's got fake earpods. That's what it is. No, right. So let's just loop round something else. I put this in the title, and I wanted to talk on this anyway. So, and it's probably relevant with City and payment structure. It does seem like the mega wealthy Manchester City are becoming penny pinchers. Anyone see the news on Khusanov yesterday?
Yeah, I saw it. It made me laugh. Do you think it's true? Do you think that's true? Is that a reliable resource or it's jokes again?
Bro, the fact that it's come out.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
No, as I was saying, I was thinking, this is just my theory.
No, I don't want to hear your theory. No, go away with your theory. I don't want to hear no negative 115 theories.
Man, they turn into
I'm not saying they did,
after a while.
but I've said that they might, I think they might end up getting fined, and that's why they're keeping money back.
You're starting to sound more and more.
I think
like
they might get fined.
I was going to say that. All right, Alan.
No, I didn't say guilty. I just said I do think they'll get a fine. I've always thought
you're not going to get a fine without being guilty. By the way, yeah, you're innocent.
I just think the punishment will be rinse and repeat from UEFA. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, Martin, I thought you were away on holiday. You were going to come on here and be positive. Instead, you want to bring us negative 115.
Oh, mate, I'm really positive, mate. I think Reijnders is done. Reijnders is done. I think Cherki will get done. Gibbs White, I still think may happen. And you'll get 2 fullbacks and a goaler, maybe. Happy days.
Yeah. Sorry, did you just
we're going to spend some money.
List who you think we're going to get?
Cherki, Reijnders. We'll get a left back, potentially a right back. I think we'll get Costa. And I think we still might end up with Gibbs White. Gibbs White isn't a one or the other. People think it's Cherki or Gibbs White. It's not.
Yeah.
If we get Costa, you have to do the opening show of next season in the goalkeeping shirt.
What about goalkeeping shirts next season?
Because of the name on the back. Martin's been trying to get sponsored by them for years.
The bright pink and bright green.
And my daughter loved one of them.
I wouldn't care if it was baby diarrhea brown. You're still going to wear it for the name on the back.
Yeah, Costa.
No. Breaking news: there's no Costa in Tenerife.
But let's move on from this.
Is that why your ego's bruised?
Yeah. Khusanov. Martin, do you believe that?
Yeah.
The Khusanov stuff. Huh?
I don't want to
Hello?
believe it, but it wouldn't. I wouldn't put it. I don't want to believe it, but I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't.
This is nothing new. Clubs have done this before. And let's not forget too. The reason Khusanov got so many appearances, or got more appearances than what we expected, was because basically our back four at the time was running on sticky tape and not much else. we needed them to come in and play.
Yeah,
and it's just a case of if we had a completely fully fit defense, he may get 3 appearances, and I reckon 2 of them would have been off the bench, and this wouldn't have been discussed.
Yeah. No, I
and this
totally
is only
totally
and really in
agree with
comparison to other players, this is only €5 million. If anybody remembers a few seasons back, I don't know if it was when Griezmann went from Atletico to Barca, or he went from Barca back to Atletico.
Yeah.
But they had this one about where the appearances, and they literally shut him down for like 3 months before the end of the season, and he only had like about a couple of appearances off the bench, and it was so Atletico didn't have to pay like €20 million to Barcelona.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which was huge because it made the rounds all around the football, social scene of football, because everybody was laughing. It's like, well, Barcelona are so skin at the moment. This is the last thing they need.
Yeah, I think that the one thing to me that worried me a little bit out of the story was, I hope that they weren't being so stubborn that they would be like, nope, we're not playing him. No matter what, he must not play, right? Because if we would have missed out on Champions League football because of it. But I do get what you're saying. Players came back at the right time. And listen, we're tightening down the hatchets. Yeah. We're tightening down the hatchets, I guess. Yep. But yeah, so do we think there's a world where both Bernardo and Gundogan go this summer? On top of De Bruyne.
It's possible, but just in the same way we talked about Rodrigo coming in, I think there's got to be a lot of things, things to happen, a lot of things beyond what we're just talking about, in a situation where maybe it just falls into our lap.
Falls into your lap at 80 million on Rodrigo's not falling into your lap, though, is it?
It is, though.
I mean, if you want to do, our club doesn't really do major business with the big European clubs like that. You need a lot of things to go in your favor, more than just trying to show the initiative and saying like, we want your player. Because I know the exception to the rule is probably Danilo. You brought up a good point there, Pat. I get that too, but he was surplus to requirements. Yeah. He was, exactly. But he was surplus to requirements. So, it just shows that we don't really do business. We were linked to Kimmich for so long, and deep down the Bayern were never really truly going to do business with us. It's just something we don't mind selling to these teams, because we have no problems letting them go if they don't want to be here.
Yeah,
but we just don't do business or major business with these quote unquote what we used to call the old G14 clubs, basically. It's just not the way we work. It's not the way we operate.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pat, it's one of those things where it's also how many players realistically have wanted to come from Real Madrid to City. Like, it doesn't seem like they've obviously got the pull from City to going to Madrid. Whereas I think when players are usually at Madrid, they're usually often pretty happy. They don't tend to force their way out or leave. So maybe if it's a different case this summer, but
unless they want to sell him, isn't it? You know what's funny though? This is what's funny, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Do you remember for the past few months? Remember throughout this season, it's actually been Camavinga who was the guy who was being linked by City and exit, and now it's just gone dead. And those actually Madrid fans, I was speaking to them. I'm in a few YouTube groups, and there's a Madrid YouTuber who was very adamant that they really want to get rid of Camavinga. Like, he will be the guy. Obviously, the summer is not here yet, because apparently he seems to be the surplus to requirement. And they say since he got injured, he came back. He's not that guy anymore. Looking at it right now, City don't really need Camavinga because Reijnders is coming in. So I don't know if that's
true.
So
but saying that, I'd love to have Camavinga in the team.
He would be
unbelievable. Yeah, he's probably my. If we're living in the FIFA verse, he's my signing.
So what do you?
You've been on him for ages, Pat, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put ourselves in this FIFA verse. So, do you still bring him in the team regardless what we have? Because we have got people keep forgetting Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's what's so.
Sorry, Dabs. I was just going to jump in and say it's part of me obviously thinks yes, the rebuild is massive in the midfield, but I think people are kind of downplaying. We've obviously got already Rodri. You've got Nico G. You've got Reijnders coming in, so there's 3. If you bring in Cherki, Foden, there's kind of 5. You've got Echeverry, there's 6. And then you've got obviously Gundo, Bernardo, all of these guys that can play. Realistically, the midfield revamp is not actually. I don't know if I see it as big as people are kind of making it out. People are saying we need 100% need 2 8s. I think Nico G is already a backup 8. You've got Nico O'Reilly that could be potentially a backup 8, backup kind of 6 as well.
He's a 6 and an 8, so we bought him for the versatility.
So it's interesting. Obviously, I think with our midfield this year, it's been obviously our kind of biggest Achilles heel and our biggest weakness. But you put Rodri in there, you put Reijnders in there.
Yeah.
We've got already a fair bit of depth behind those 2 as well. So
for me, the one. Let's just do this really, really quickly, right?
Yep.
I'll start off. For me, I think right. So I'm going to be consistent. 8s for me is what we need so badly because of the fact that we do have, De Bruyne's gone, Bernardo's gone, Gundogan. Sorry, Bernardo might be going, but Bernardo is of age. Gundogan's of age. Kovacic is of age. We have to be very close with Kovacic and Bernardo, I would say as well, because I do think Kovacic and Bernardo, when they've been playing in a deeper role, have been really, really good. But I do think Kovacic is going to lose his legs soon. And Patrick, we were speaking about this yesterday, how good Kovacic is driving with the ball. When his legs go, then all of a sudden Kovacic becomes a lot of a different player. So, but
Kovacic surprises me though, Daps, because he is sort of like a player who'll play the ball with his feet in a side that is better known for passing.
Yeah,
and yet it somehow works.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's a square peg in a round hole, and yet it somehow fits in there.
For me, one of the most bizarre things I've seen over the last couple of years is the hate on Kovacic. I just don't fucking get it one little bit. Really don't get it. But for me,
sorry, you go, mate.
For me, I think if we get Cherki, I think the amount we are going to open up for Haaland, for Marmoush, and for whoever else is playing up top with them, it might even be Cherki that plays up with them. Potentially, it might be. But I just think that, look, we can all think that Pep is going to change his style of football and all of a sudden no longer play patient football. But it ain't going to happen. That's Pep's style, is patient football. You put Cherki in a team that is willing to play patient football, and all of a sudden those locks become far, far easier to unlock. I just think, I tell you what, the one for me, however much I really, really want Reijnders, really want Ait-Nouri, I said this yesterday, I almost, when my wife was pregnant, I told everyone I was having a boy. Deep down, all I wanted was a little girl, right? And I got what I wanted in the end. But this is a saying that I'm telling everyone, Ait-Nouri and Reijnders are the two that I'm admitting it here. I want Cherki so badly to the point that it will hurt me if we don't get him. I've got over the Wirtz one by the fact that we're being linked with Cherki. I want us to get I want Cherki done today. I want that done today. I don't want to risk anyone else coming in for him, because the thing is with that is if Cherki was a mad price, I'd think, okay, you know what, we might have a free run at this because no one else is going to spend it on him. But the amount he is, so many other clubs could go, do you know what, for that money, let's go in for him. Let's go. He's
not, and you know what? It's scary things because I think last year PSG went for him and he decided to stay at Lyon, and then Dortmund have been watching him. Like Dortmund even went for him this January. So Dortmund, are very interested. So if City play around, there's one club here. Obviously, I think he doesn't want to go to Lyon because he doesn't know to PSG because he sees what's happening there. There's a lot of wingers. There's a lot of people in that midfield. But my fear is if Dortmund grab him, they're not grabbing him. Dortmund don't grab players so they stay there for a long time. That means they'll grab him
and sell him for 100.
They'll flip him for a massive profit.
So we better get him.
25, 30 now. Give it 3 seasons. Sell him for 100.
Yeah, I'll be honest. We don't get Cherki. I'll be honest with you. I'll be really fucking pissed off with the board. Really pissed off. Yeah.
So at the moment, are you feeling good about what the club's doing? Firstly, because unlike Rice and Bellingham, they actually just made the decision straight away. They said, all right, we're not getting Wirtz. We're not going to try and flog this dead horse. We're just going to go for it straight away. And now they're showing initiative by saying, well, if we're not going to pay 150 mil to get Wirtz, then for about the same amount of money, we might be able to get 3 midfielders.
Yeah.
So it's showing 100%. Some really good initiative at a really
100%.
early time. Before the window's even open, I think it's really good from the club.
Well, you've got to remember,
something that's been lacking the last 2 summers.
One of the reasons I'm pretty certain I've had this debate with every single one of you on this panel. My biggest issue with Morgan Gibbs-White and the price for Morgan Gibbs-White was that I know that this is a summer where we have to really, really, really rebuild, right? And to go and spend so much money. And by the way, let me be clear. This is when I was seeing Morgan Gibbs-White for 100 million. I was saying, I don't want to be going and spending 100
He's
million.
A good player, but if you're getting him at 40 mil, you'd be fine with it.
Yeah. But the whole thing for me was, I know how many players we have to buy, right? Yep. To be throwing 100 million at Morgan Gibbs-White is just screaming 115 2.0. Yeah. And like, the Wirtz thing could be a blessing in disguise. It sounds mad because I am a big Wirtz fan, but if we end up not getting Wirtz, but then going and getting Cherki for I see 25. Let's say we go and get Cherki for 40 million, right? Yeah. For me, that's still fucking great business if we get it done. Huh? Yeah, but 25, 40, whatever.
They're saying Reijnders is 65. I'm loving that. Under 60 million pounds. That's great.
So how much is Morgan Gibbs-White to everyone then? Because remember, Forest paid 42 mil for him.
Yeah, I think
no more than 70 million pounds, Martin. I'll push it to 75.
But Martin, I'm willing to push to 75. I'm not talking about what they will want, right? I couldn't give a shit what they want, right? It's what I want to pay. And that's
what I'm saying. What would people be happy at?
55,
that's what I'm asking.
55, 60. I'm happy.
You know, the biggest problem though is the biggest problem though when you say a low ball figure like that is they bought him from Wolves to nearly 40 million, and then if they sell him, 10% of that has to go to Wolves.
Yeah,
so Wolves will be looking for English. Forest will be looking for Max.
He's English and he's Premier League. And he's just broke into the England team.
Yeah, so fuck it, walk away then. Then walk away.
No, I'm just saying. I think the prices people are wanting are not available in this market.
No, Martin, you're right. No, the problem is you go to other leagues and you get the same player for 40, 50 million. That's the big issue.
I tell you what, Grealish exchange. Fuck it.
Yeah. No,
but like Livermento's not an 80 million pound fullback, really.
Yeah, but Livermento is a better fullback than Morgan Gibbs-White is a 10. Like,
no, but I've never thought Gibbs-White was a 10.
Do you know what's funny?
Well, Gibbs-White a lot of people. We don't even know Gibbs-White is an 8. We're just presuming he'd be good as an 8. Yeah. Whereas we know Livermento's a mint right or left back.
Yeah, and a lot of fans and a lot of fans and even including me, I don't know why I'm like Livermento as English quarter. I'm actually accepting 80. I even said the other day, like, give them 80. I don't care. Drag him out of thing. But Gibbs-White, I think there's just something about Gibbs-White. It's just like, he just looks like he's an utility player. So you're like, okay, if I'm spending 70, 80, this guy should be starting. Because we know Livermento will start at City. I think that's the difference maybe. That's why people are not so into the Gibbs-White amount. Because I know Forest are going to go for a high price. And come on. We have Cherki coming in. This is what I told the people the other day. The issue is if Cherki comes in for 25, let's say if the 25 is real and it comes in for 25, Gibbs-White comes for 70, and we see Gibbs-White on the bench more than Cherki, people will be like, what sort of business was City trying to do here? You've got Nico Gonzalez can play 8. If you say Gibbs-White is coming as an 8, Nico Gonzalez can play 8, Reijnders can play 8, can play Holding. So why are you having Gibbs? And then there's Foden who can play the 10. Echeverri, if he stays, plays the 10. So Gibbs-White, what exactly is Gibbs-White here for the 70? Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. Kind of you see, for rotation, it doesn't make sense.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. What we've done is, sadly, if we're going to do that, then we have to keep some of our homegrown players and give them a chance, i.e. Rico Lewis, Jack Grealish. But we know Jack's not going to stay, John. The thing is, we can't say John Stones could go.
No, we have no idea.
Rico's not, Rico Lewis isn't good enough. Then we're saying Jack Grealish out. Sadly, that's the market. Unless you get rid of the homegrown rule out of the Premier League, you're screwed. on the price anyway.
And then the problem you have there too, Martin, is that like Newcastle and Forest will turn around and say, "Oh, you want our players, but we just realised you're short in the English quota." Then they're going to throw the King's ransom at us.
That's true.
Look at Adam Wharton. We had all this with Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton's not worth that. Adam Wharton was signed for a lot of money from Blackburn.
It was an expensive signing for a championship. Signing from the championship. Yeah.
Jana, here's something, Martin. I'm taking if Adam Wharton was 80, 70, I'm taking that. I don't know. That's not what I'm saying. It's just Adam Wharton. I see potential and I see so much than I see from Gibbs White, because I've seen Adam Wharton play these passes, and he says I play these passes because I used to be a number 10. I don't know. I don't know about Gibbs White. I don't know why. There's just something about Gibbs White.
Gibbs White was a major reason Forest got into where they were. Crystal Palace were like.
Can I ask you,
Patrick? The numbers that Gibbs White put up this season was in a team that had some of the lowest possession of any team in the Premier League.
Yeah, right. Sorry,
when the numbers are good with minimal minutes played or minutes with the ball at your feet, you got to take that into. You got to factor that in.
Okay. Sorry. I've got to wrap it up here because we've got another show I'm 10 minutes late for already. The great Morgan Gibbs White debate. It rages on. It rages on. It's like Big Brother. It goes away for a season, but it fucking comes back sooner or later. So listen, we're going to be talking about Morgan Gibbs White a lot more. Guys, Mancunian Way boys. We'll start with you guys. Got anything coming up you need to plug?
Yeah, we're back on Tuesday, I believe we're back.
3rd of June.
Yeah, with a huge transfer show. We'll go through and end the season review on Thursday.
What time's that going to be?
Evening time, I'm guessing.
Okay, lovely. I'll make sure I do one before then. And thanks to all three of you for coming on. We will see on Rodrigo as well. Nick, I now know who your number one signing would be, Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
He loves Rodrigo. You want to see the WhatsApp messages he keeps asking me about Rodrigo? He loves him.
I also want Rodrigo.
Not just you, Martin,
I think deep down, if we were to do this, I think Patrick and Nick's ideal signing, like their number one signing, would be Rodrigo. I think Patrick, if you admit it, is Rodrigo.
Rodrigo.
These two would be getting
he wants Rodrigo. He wants Rodrigo.
Get that.
And then I think Martin wants Morgan Gibbs White.
Nah, Martin's is Man City to get a fine, apparently.
Yeah, hit it.
Man City to get guilt.
Pat, who's your number one signing, just quickly?
Camavinga.
Yeah, that's a shout. I'd have to say Wirtz is probably my first, but I was being realistic.
You liar. Tell everyone the truth who you want as your signing. You said you wanted Haaland out and someone else
Chris
in.
Wood. Yeah, Chris Wood.
And mine is I've made it clear here. Mine is Cherki. I can't lie if we don't get Cherki. Patrick, what you got coming up today?
Okay, tonight we've got the Pat and Kel show, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. Is it going to be positive or negative? When you do your shows with Kel, are you the positive one or the negative one, or is it just all negative? No, it's going to be all positive. People will be surprised. Right, cool. You know what I've done? What's his name? Daps. I have taken advantage of the fact that Martin is on vacation. I was like, yes, Martin's on vacation. Let me just do videos and just
what? Let me be positive.
Let me be positive. So because Martin is gone now, I'm like, let me be positive. Martin comes back, I'll start being negative again. Well, and Pat's dropped off. And right, this is going to go straight over to Never a Foul. We're going to have myself. Pat's back now. Going to have myself, Cass, Monts. Few others from other clubs. City fans, I want you all to stay on this stream. It will take you straight over there. Please like the video, drop a comment saying South Stand Raid, and also listen, back me for once. I need some more City fans in there, so please stay on there and back me. Everyone have a great day. I will be back at 5 p.m. today on this channel with the Sheikh to talk more about transfers. Hopefully we have some more news. And on that note, I am going to leave you with Aston Villa fan about a month ago.
So that's where I've always said I'm never a foul, and people take the piss at me. I said, since January, for me, Villa has one of the best squads in the Premier League. I might even put my neck out there and say the best squad.